Welcome back to my channel. I'm Lee Johnson, and if you like my content, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit the little notification bell, like, share, subscribe. Oh, I've already said subscribe. Like, share, comment, etc, etc, etc. And if you would like to support the channel and keep things going and make things grow, then you can press the join button as well. It's a very, very, very small fee. Well, in South Africa where I am, it's 19 Rand 99 cents. It's about $1.35, I think, something like that. All right, so I'm sure you have come across reports of people doing evocations, invocations, and such things with various spirits. And I'm speaking specifically in connection with the demons and demonolatry. You usually get a lot of reports from ceremonial magicians regarding this, and demonolators as well. The approach is different, but with most of these reports or testimonies, let's put it that way, people come, they do work with a particular demon, and they come back and they share their experiences. So with those experiences, you usually find that they call one particular demon for one particular task. Now, this has led us to believe that this is the only way it should work. I find there are different ways. We can actually use, well, we don't use the demons. It's a natural progress, really. But there's some kind of teamwork that happens. And this can happen in two ways. The first way would be if you are working on a particular thing in your life. Let's go with money magic. You have a business. And so you can actually create a team of demons for that particular thing. And each demon will have a particular aspect or area they will focus on. So for instance, you could have Clawneck, Balfagor, Beelzebub, Mammon. You could even look at Belial, Boon. There's a lot of spirits that will help you with money and with business and things like that. But what you do is you get your team together. So for instance, Mammon is right at the top. He's the one who's going to take your business and make it into an empire. But along that path, you've got other things that need to happen. So you might have a month where you need to suddenly generate emergency income. So you might go to Clawneck for that. Balfagor will take your projects and will, keep them going, keep them moving. And you might even want, if you're a writer or an artist, you might want to look at someone like AIM, who will give you inspiration. There are demons that will give you influence. So you're looking at social media and things like that. So you can create this whole team of demons, and you don't necessarily need to go to one specifically or one specific demon at one time and say, please do this. You can go to all of them and you can have a discussion. It's kind of like a board meeting. So, it's not do this at this particular time, then do this at this particular time. Things need to happen all at the same time. While you are influencing your social media followers, you also may need inspiration for a new project, or you may have a project that you've just launched and you need that to get moving. All these things need to happen at the same time. So you can create this team and you can have a board meeting with them. The other way that this tends to happen is, and I've got a perfect example of a friend of mine who went to Clawneck, needed money quickly, and it was an emergency, and started working with Clawneck, and then Lucifer came through. Now, if you've read the Grimorium Verum, you'll know that Lucifer or Clawneck falls under Lucifer. So it kind of made sense, okay? Lucifer came through and Clawneck was there and they were both interacting. Then I did some work with her on where I called Lucifer, and instead of Clawnet coming through, Belial came through. And God, I was expecting a completely different spirit, but Belial decided to come through because Belial wanted to work with her at that time. And considering what she was going through, it kind of made sense. Now, what confused her was that she called Clawneck to do the work. Nobody else, just Clawneck. So what happened was Clawneck saw that another spirit may be able to help in a particular area, went to Lucifer, said, who can we use? Eventually Belial came along and said, I'm the one to use right now. So this whole teamwork happens. So if you are wanting to get a particular thing done and you are looking for the exact right spirit, you probably might get a bit confused, because there might be 10 demons that can help you with the task that you want. So which one do you pick? Pick the one that feels right for you. Pick the one that resonates with you at that time. If that particular demon isn't exactly fitting the task that you require, it doesn't mean that it just won't be done. It will mean that they may go to another spirit or another demon and say, can you help with this task? And they will come in and they will also help. So don't close yourself off to that, because if you close yourself off, then you start pushing those things away. You start blocking them, rejecting them, because that's not how it was supposed to happen. You went to this particular demon, you said you want this task done, and that's how it's supposed to happen. That demon was supposed to do it. Don't block yourself off to all the other possibilities that could come along. So if another demon needs to come in and help with that particular situation at that particular time until step 1 is complete, then another one might come in and complete step 2, etc., 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 to get you to where you need to go, where you need to be. So don't block yourself off to any of that. And I think it's very important to realize that just because we think that it's supposed to happen a particular way doesn't mean it's going to happen that way. I've said this in the past, and I'll keep saying in the future. The ceremonial approach to the Goetic work, to dealing with the demons, to working with the demons, is one that traps, binds, commands, forces, threatens, etc., etc. It's not a good approach. Okay, so in that case, you'll probably have the magician calls a particular demon and says, "Do this, or I'm going to threaten you," and they go off and they do it, or they don't, and they either get burnt and threatened, and they don't. If they actually get to the point where they can retaliate, they're going to retaliate. Or you can take the demonolator's approach, which is about respect. It's about give and take. So you give an offering, you get something in return. Okay, it's that energy exchange that happens. If that energy exchange is not happening and it's all just one-sided, you're going to end up with an imbalance. So there's that whole energy exchange that needs to take place. And just because you've called a particular demon doesn't mean that that particular demon is able to accomplish the task that you require. Not their fault, it's just their aspect. I can't, if somebody calls me and says, please fix my sink, do the plumbing, I can't do that. It's not what I was trained for, it's not what I am good at. So what I will then do is go and call one of my buddies who can fix the plumbing, and I'll say, come along, do the work, there we go, all done. So it's the same type of thing. If you call a demon that isn't particularly skilled at what you want them to do, they're going to go off and they're going to call somebody who is, and expect it to happen. Don't block it off, don't reject it, allow it to happen, because it's how you're going to get the work done at the end of the day. So I did feel like there was this idea that, I mean, as I said, we keep reading all these experiences online of people who call a demon and the demon went off and did it, but we don't read the experiences, not often. Some people will give their experiences of they did X, Y, and Z and it didn't work, it failed. But mostly we read the good experiences online because people want to talk about them. So we get this impression that it's that case of find the right demon, call that demon, ask it to go do what you want it to do, and it will go off and it will do it, bring it back. That's the impression we get. But there's a lot of other factors that roll into that as well. And, I'll keep talking about all these factors that could influence your magic negatively. And it could be that you're not able to get yourself into a positive mind frame. You may be thinking too negatively. That's going to impact your magic, because even if you do the work, you call the demon, you give the offerings, and X, Y, and Z, if you're constantly thinking negatively, it's not going to work, it's not going to work, it's not going to work, it's not going to work. So it's, all of those things also come into it. And sometimes it's difficult to get yourself into a positive mind frame, especially when you're in a situation where everything just seems like it's after you and everything's negative. But, we'll keep talking about these things. But I think this is quite important, is that we need to be open to other possibilities of what can actually happen. All right, so that's it for today. On this week, Friday, on the Black Hat Chat, we're talking about treading the mill, traditional witchcraft stuff, and one that I'm very interested in, and one I'm going to learn a lot from, I hope. All right, so if you can join us at 4 p.m. GMT, join us on the channel, on the live chat. You can ask questions, say hello, comment, whatever you want to do. And otherwise, I will see you next week, Tuesday. Have a good one. Cheers.